Good morning. Welcome to my third video in my series, The 10 Tags of Halloween. Today I'm going to show you how I did this background. It's sort of a Tim Holtz background, but I use Stampin' Up! Products. It looks kind of like worn leather or rusted metal. And I did mine using orange since it's Halloween, but you can use blue or green, anything that could look rusted or worn. What you need today to make this are a tag. Mine is cut out of Very Vanilla, an orange stamp pad, I'm using Peach Parfait, chocolate chip or other dark brown stamp pad, StazOn ink, Versamark, clear embossing powder, a heat tool, a Stampin' wheel, and sponges. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your orange ink pad and you're going to directly rub it on your tag. Now it's a little bit messy, but that's all right. I don't mind messes. And it doesn't have to be even. Just do it until you're happy with the coverage. I find that when I do leave a little bit of lines in it, it turns out equally as well. Okay, so now I have that basically covered. You have to work fairly quickly with this step. Get rid of some of my mess. Now you're going to take your clear embossing powder and you're going to sprinkle it all over the tag. Now because this ink dries fairly quickly, you have to really hurry. Mine's getting low. I guess I better order some more today. Okay, now you have it all colored with embossing powder. What you're going to do is you're going to take it over and you're going to flick it really hard several times. What you're trying to do is knock a little bit of the powder off. Okay. That's pretty good. Now I'm going to heat emboss. Excuse the noise. Okay, now that's done. Now here's where the Versamark comes in. You may see some areas which didn't get embossed. This occurs because the original ink dried so quickly. So then you can stamp these areas with your Versamark. Go back in, put embossing powder on them, tap off the excess, and then emboss those areas. Okay, so now your whole thing is embossed. The next thing that I do, which you really probably don't have to, is I just take, once it's cool enough to handle, and I just roll it and squish it a little bit. I find that this sort of loosens up the embossing, and for the next step it makes it a little bit cooler. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take your dark brown ink and a sponge, and you're going to start sponging over top. It's going to feel a little bit maybe like an orange skin or a lemon skin. That's what you're looking for. Now if you were doing this with Tim Holtz products, Distress ink dries very slowly, so you would probably get a much thicker coat of embossing on here because more embossing powder would stick. But that's all right. I like the effect that we have here. Now where most sponging is done fairly gently, you have to rub this in quite well because you want to get it down in between the cracks of the embossing powder. You can see it's starting to look worn already. Now, when you're happy with that, just take your sponge and go a little bit darker around all the edges. This is one technique where you don't have to worry if you get fingerprints on it. It just adds to the character. There, now doesn't that look like worn metal or leather? Okay, I like that just the way it is. I don't think I want to sponge any longer. Okay, now you're going to take your wheel. In my case, it's the Dark and Dreary wheel. And your StazOn ink. The reason you want StazOn is because it takes a lot to stick over top of this embossing. Ink up your wheel till you get it good and inked. Make sure you're going to stamp this right side up as well. Okay, and what you're going to do is you're going to start off of the page and you're going to stamp until the whole page is covered. You'll see mine is crooked this time, but I'm trying to hurry. Let it dry. You can hurry this step along with a heat tool if you want, but it doesn't take too long to dry, so I wouldn't worry about it. And there you have a very worn background. Add a few embellishments, like I added my medallion, and you're finished. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you again later. Thanks, bye.